Hello guys, so today we're here to talk about Shura. So Shura is the second Dark passer and she's the only non-legendary passer in the Dark family within EE. So first of all, if you look at her on a stat level, you're actually going to notice that her stats are higher than Balteon's. Now, there are a lot of rumors about how that's unfair when Balteon buffed, that means she's more OP than him. Yes and no. That means by base, with no superbs and no skill points, well, actually with superbs, but with no skill points, she's better than him. Now, Balteon by himself is always going to be better just because all his skills buff everything. So no, she does not beat Balteon. I know that this weird rumor has been going around, but she does make a very decent passer who can run either in Rainbow, in Dark, or in any combination of Dark with great value. So let's go down. First of all, they put her in center front. I mean, why not? As long as she's somewhere up there, you could put her on the sides. Again, position bonuses on passers are really not that important. It's not as much as the strikers. Now, let's look at her on a skill level. Increase action speed and reflex of Dark players. As I said, she was made to be used in Dark, or at least solve some of the Dark issues. 25% is pretty low, but I mean, why not? If you want some OP-ness, go look at Janice. He has some real buffs in Ace. Now, pass effect recovers the target action bar by 100, pass effect 40%, targets critical rate by 25. Now you need to know she is basically going to solve any crit rate problem you have on your line, so I'm just going to point out this is 25 right there. Increase pass effect by 30%. This is what I find is the most underwhelming skill I've ever seen, and I'm kind of sad it's there, but at least it means you can take the full advantage of her skill set even without 7-starring her, because let's be honest, this is not a skill you're going to want to max out because you're not going to spend the resource to make a 7-star for 12% pass effect. I can get that from a passive on a stone. Yeah, pretty much. Now, Schrodinger's Rabbit. So it got actually buffed a little bit. It's going to decrease the defense by 10%, critical resistance by 10% of the enemies within the position for 5 minutes with a 70% chance when applied to the position and when they make an action. Now, that's really low. Fast version of it is when they move, there's a 70% chance they lose 10% defense and 10% critical resistance. Again, this means that in 5 minutes if they're moving, they can lose up to 50%. Now, this has moderate synergy with Ravian users because the goalkeeper doesn't actually count as she's making a move when she gets the ball and gets stolen upon. But this is pretty nice. And the cool part is that they added defense, meaning, you know, you hate co-op defense? Well, that's not going to be happening anymore. I know because I'm running Lilith with a defense decreasing skill, and the chances of co-op defense that I face are basically 1 in 100. Unless, of course, they have like some serious defense stones, but that's kind of rare. And then we have Inspiring 2. Increase critical rate and reflex by 30% of the position. So if you read this correctly, this means 25, another 30, so 55, and another 50. So basically, you've buffed your chances of critting by 105% just by one player on active pass. That is an insanely high value. Again, I just want to put out it's a 5-minute. This is the active, but still, if well conditioned, it can give some great value. On a chain level, I'm going to say she has some really great chains if you ignore the first one, who is utter trash. So here's an affection with Dark Strikers. I mean, again, she was made for Dark. So I'm going to say, in my opinion, she has the best synergy with Vetoes, but she wouldn't really lose if she was with a Ravian. Again, other strikers can use her. She's not really forced to be in mono Dark. Ravian has synergy because of the reflex and crit rate. Vetoes has synergy because of the critical and the critical buffs. They're both going to gain a different thing from her, but there's no loss. Now, on arrival, she has some really decent rivals again. She has Asilla, who's basically going to be the fear of mono Dark, meaning she's going to get more powerful if she's facing their enemy. Or she's going to have one Veronica, who's basically mandatory in any Thunder team, and some Rainbows are now even using her. I will never get why, but they like to do weird stuff. And now on a Nemesis chain, just in case this wasn't enough, let's talk about 2 of the other more OP goalkeepers. So if we're removing Angela and Jin, she basically has every other powerful goalkeeper in her chains. And these are not friendship or affection chains, so there's a decent chance these will proc. So chain-wise, she's very nice. Now, if we look at her on a stone level, This is where, again, you got to question to yourself, how do we want to stone her? Do we have enough spirit? Now, I know that dark doesn't use as much spirit, so I'm going to be talking more on a dark level, and I'll tell you the little difference you would do. So first of all, this is going to be really depending which striker you take, but you have two options. The first one is going to be put the Wormwind Pass unique, put a Thunder Pass stone, a Dark DR, and in the prize, either a Thunder or an Ardor or even a Light Pass stone. Really, it just depends your mood. Now, this is basically going to be the build for her to be tanky, to generate spirit, and that if you try to steal from her, it won't work. Plus, the Pass stone combined with her Inspiring 2 will give you a pretty decent reflex. And the survival rate should be not bad in this build. But if you feel this is not exactly what you were aiming for, or if you find your friend too weak and you already have a decent amount of crit, there are alternate builds. What we're going to change is we're going to put the Thunder Pass unique instead, we're going to put the Dark Hype Stone again, and we're going to put a Wormwind Pass effect. They're not as good because they don't have any passive stat, but that means you can get some much better substats. And then in the Prism again, you can just go for any pass stone that makes you happy. Just look at the subs and see what you're looking for. If you're looking for Spirit Ardor, if you're looking for Speed Light, and if you're looking for Survival, Thunder because of the reflex counters. So I think that's the basic idea on her Spirit Stone. Again, there's much more than one build. It really depends how you want to build her. I mean, my passer in my case runs Encompassing Soul and only owns a single pass stone. But it's really up to what you want to run. On what team is she really going to work out? I'm going to say she has great synergy with Dark. She has synergy with Rainbows, especially those that lack critical and that are running SOB on their striker. That's a great thing she synergizes with. So again, there's going to be a lot of situations where you can use her. Again, I'm not going to put her above Balteon because her pass effect is going to be much lower than him if you look at it endgame-wise. But she does provide a good alternative, especially for Mono Dark. Now, on a skin level, the first skin was kind of cute. The second one, I find it's a bit too zombie-ish. And the third one, it seems that there are some holes inside of her. I don't remember exactly where the people were pointing those out. I don't know. I'm going to say I just really liked her base skin the most. But it's up to you guys. So, yeah, that's basically what she has. She has Soul Gravel immunity. Again, not a good immunity. It kind of has no value. But, hey, now you know she can use her active. I don't know when Soul Gravel even activates. I've never seen it on. But she has it. It's not like she'd have Piercing Wind, who's the one we really care about. So have a good day, guys, and I hope this helps you understand the value of Shura thanks to her new EE.